When Game of Thrones premiered on HBO in April 2011, few expected a fantasy show with dragons, medieval politics, and morally complex characters to become a global cultural force. Yet, within a few years, it would reshape the television landscape, gaining millions of viewers and breaking records along the way. Game of Thrones, based on George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire novels, was more than just a story about power, bloodshed, and dragons. It was a story about the power of storytelling itself and the ability of television to reach audiences across the globe in unprecedented ways. From the very first episode, Game of Thrones broke the mold. The series began with the brutal execution of the Honorable Eddard Stark, played by Sean Bean, a move that set the tone for the entire show. Viewers quickly realized that no character was safe, and this sense of unpredictability, coupled with the show's gritty depiction of politics and power struggles, became a defining feature of its appeal. It was a show that never hesitated to kill off beloved characters, defy traditional heroic narratives, and leave audiences in shock. The production value of Game of Thrones was another key factor in its success. With a budget that ballooned to up to $15 million per episode in later seasons, the show's visual effects, set design, and costumes rivaled those of big-budget films. From the towering walls of Winterfell to the sun-drenched streets of King's Landing, the locations were a feast for the eyes. Filming in countries like Iceland, Northern Ireland, Croatia, and Spain added authenticity to the fictional world of Westeros, making it feel alive and tangible. But it wasn't just the visuals that drew people in. Composer Ramin Djawadi's iconic theme became immediately recognizable, and the haunting melodies played a major role in setting the tone of the show. In addition to its visual and musical appeal, the show's characters were another reason for its global success. Game of Thrones introduced audiences to a diverse range of deeply flawed, morally complex individuals who were neither fully good nor evil. From the cunning Tyrion Lannister, played by Peter Dinklage, to the ambitious Daenerys Targaryen, Emilia Clarke, the characters in Game of Thrones were not one-dimensional stereotypes. Their motivations, desires, and betrayals mirrored the complexity of human nature, making them relatable even as they were embroiled in the fantastical politics of Westeros. However, the series was not without its controversies. Critics and audiences were quick to debate the show's portrayal of violence, particularly sexual violence. The infamous rape scene of Sansa Stark, the brutal treatment of women, and the often exploitative use of nudity in early seasons sparked significant backlash. While the showrunners defended their choices as necessary for depicting the dark world of Westeros, many felt that it crossed the line into gratuitousness. In addition to the violence, Game of Thrones became infamous for its tendency to kill off major characters, often in shocking, gruesome ways. The unexpected deaths, particularly during moments of high tension, kept viewers on edge, as anyone, from beloved heroes to key villains, could be killed at any moment. This sense of danger heightened the stakes of the series, leaving fans on the edge of their seats and constantly speculating about who would survive the next episode. The influence of Game of Thrones spread far beyond TV screens. It wasn't just a show, a culture phenomenon. By the end of its run in 2019, Game of Thrones had become the most pirated TV show in history, with millions of viewers turning to illegal streaming platforms to watch the latest episodes. HBO, recognizing the power of the show, capitalized on this global demand by expanding its streaming services and reaching more viewers worldwide. The piracy problem, however, highlighted an issue in the distribution of content and the growing power of global streaming services, paving the way for platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime to dominate in the years that followed. As Game of Thrones became a global phenomenon, its cast, largely unknown prior to the show, quickly became household names. Peter Dinklage, who played the witty and sharp Tyrion Lannister, won 4 Primetime Emmy Awards for his performance, turning his character into a cultural icon. Emilia Clarke, who portrayed Daenerys, became with the Mother of Dragons and used her platform to advocate for brain injury survivors after a life-threatening aneurysm during filming. Kit Harington, who played Jon Snow, became the face of the brooding, noble hero. Their fame skyrocketed, and their personal stories intertwined with those of the characters they portrayed, making them beloved figures in pop culture. Despite the show's monumental success, its final season left many fans disillusioned. In 2019, the last 6 episodes were met with harsh criticism for their pacing, character arcs, and handling of major storylines. Fans were particularly upset with the portrayal of Daenerys' descent into madness and the rushed conclusion of the central power struggles. In a rare moment of collective outrage, a petition to remake Season 8 garnered millions of signatures, underscoring the passion that Game of Thrones had inspired in its fan base. This backlash, however, did little to diminish the cultural impact of the series. Even as the finale sparked debates, Game of Thrones remained a constant topic of discussion in media, and its influence was undeniable. Game of Thrones also had a profound effect on the television industry itself. It demonstrated that large-scale, high-budget television series could be just as influential, if not more, than big-budget films. The show set new standards for production values, making networks and streaming services alike eager to invest in big-budget content. This shift has had lasting effects on the media landscape, as shows like The Witcher, Stranger Things, and The Mandalorian have embraced a similar cinematic style. The impact of Game of Thrones can still be seen today. Spin-offs like House of the Dragon have continued to draw large audiences, proving that the world of Westeros still has a magnetic pull on fans. The series' legacy extends beyond just the media it spawned. It is part of a broader cultural conversation about power, identity, and the blurred lines between good and evil. Whether people loved or hated it, Game of Thrones left an indelible mark on television, making it one of the most important and talked about shows of the 21st century. From its unexpected deaths and epic battles to its morally complex characters and world building, Game of Thrones achieved what few shows have. It became a global phenomenon that reshaped the way we watch television. Its story is a testament to the power of storytelling, the potential for television to create cultural moments, and the importance of pushing boundaries to captivate audiences worldwide.